here for any questions. Well. Well, it doesn't work unless you guys ask a question. I'm always here. You guys got the title. You guys got the question. Anything, any question, and I'll try to answer it as truthful as possible. If you don't have a question, I don't know what to tell you. So how's the sound quality? How about that? Sound quality should be pretty good. Got my own microphone sitting out here in my backyard. Rather beautiful. Let me show you guys around a little bit. Hi, can you say your last name? Well, everybody can be found on the internet, you know, but I don't want to announce it for the average moron, because usually, I'm not saying you're a moron, but usually those people that would do something stupid, you know, you give them like a stupid present, they're going to give you a stupid present back, right? So, and then I'd have no one to blame but myself for doing that. But if someone takes the time to find out who I am, where I'm at, and causes trouble, that gives me an excuse to defend myself correctly and or bring them up on charges. But my last name is Irish. Family of immigrants. Can you believe it? Yeah, that's why I got like peppered skin. You see the pinkness of my skin? See that my little farmer's tan? Yeah, that's Irish. Yep. My people were starving, and the rest of Europe looked at us and said, well, you guys are all fat. We were the fattest, we were the fattest poor country on the planet at that time. We ate potatoes, and we had lots of them until we didn't. And when we didn't, we had only one type of produce, which was potatoes that we survived on, and we found ourselves starving to death because of blight. Potato blight kills everything. The potatoes came out of the ground dark brown, muddy, mushy. You couldn't eat them. And Europe, England, they didn't want to help us. So we came to America. Most of us ended up in the southern states, and that's because of indentured slavery. And we did a lot of farming and different things like that, helped build this country. Say my last name, Dennis Scheijma. All right, I said I'd try it. Dennis Scheijmacher. Possibly German? German descent, am I correct? I'm sorry, I really killed that. Mr. Pro, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, these new kids these days, they do use their entire name. So when I went to the YouTube, I went to a YouTube get-together, and we talk about different ways to make money, different ways to advertise. And all the newer kids were using full names, first name, last name. And I use an imaginary name, found worthy. Yeah, younger kids these days, their profiles are out in the open. Uh, so, for instance, your average YouTuber that's under 30 years old, you most likely know his last name. You probably know where his address is. Um, but us older types don't quite, trust the technology yet. And I would assume that's why older people like myself, I'm in my 50s, um, don't use our last names, even though it doesn't really matter, does it? Because in America, we have laws. You guys break those laws. You got to um, abide by those laws, and if you don't, you get in trouble. That's why in America, people don't go around killing people very much. I have a question for you. Look at San Francisco. How many murders last year happened in San Francisco? How many? Take a wild guess. San Francisco, how many murders in the city of San Francisco last year? How many murders, how many people got killed in San Francisco last year? Give me a number. Young says a lot. Nate, I'll come back to you. Rick, I will come back to you after this thought. Absolutely. Can't hear me very well? How's this? Better? 100 plus. Okay, so check it out. We'll go through these. San Francisco had 18 murders. 18. That's it. 18 people were killed in the city of San Francisco last year. In comparison, Compton, California, 8 people. 8 people. For another comparison, Tijuana, Mexico, 1,870 murders last year. That means when you wake up every morning in the newspaper, there's 4 dead bodies in the city every day. Yeah, to give you an idea, America's very safe. Now, we do have crime, we do have riots, protests, or whatever you want to call them. But we don't have a lot of people killing people because we have really strict laws and you will get caught. So if you kill someone, you're going away, you're going to be put in a little tiny cage for about 20 years. And that's why people don't go around killing people in America. People do what they get away with. So when you see bad behavior in America, it's because they get away with it. We've just decided not to enforce certain laws, whether it's parking in the wrong place or throwing trash out your window, stuff like that. When I was young, you threw trash out your window, that was a $1,500 fine. They'd get people all the time. The city was real clean. Let me go back to these questions here. I told you I was going to do that. What do I do for work? I work from home. I do sales, but I'm actually pretty much retired. So I get to do YouTube, play Mr. Mom. I really don't need to work. I don't have a lot of money. I have a nice house that I've built with my own hands. I have a car that's paid off. Um, I had a car that got crashed recently and I had to go out and buy a brand new car. That's kind of strapped me for cash a little bit. I try to sell things here. In the product links, I'm selling wool blankets. I love wool blankets. I think everybody should have a wool blanket, even in the summer. It's something you put in your car. In the summer, you put it on the ground and use it as a place to sit when you go to the park. And in the winter, you can use that same wool blanket to keep you warm or keep you alive. So the wool blankets I did put in the product links are 4 blankets that I really like, and it's 4 varieties. You got some cheaper ones in the $30 range. You have some with some trim on them. All 4 I really like, and I highly recommend them. And that's how I kind of make money is I try to sell things. That's extra money that allows me to maybe get me a cigar every once in a while. These things are kind of expensive. These are like $1.50 each, right? I'm a cheapskate. I'm so cheap. I live very simply. I this shirt is probably Well, you guys have probably seen this shirt in a lot of my videos. This shirt cost me 25 cents. I go down to downtown Los Angeles and I purchase these shirts. And then the other shirts that I wear are from a few sponsors I have. So I'm a very simple person. I have some nice suits though, because every man needs a suit. I'll be wearing my suit this Saturday actually for a friend's funeral, showing respects. Nate, what do you do for work? I hope that answered your question. Rick, how's the rebuilding going after all the fires in your area? It's not. There I already told people they're not going to rebuild. So that's not going to happen. And for anybody, I don't even know if I should really share this with you, but someone very close to me just passed away. Not very close to me, but very close to some folks in my church. And his home was burned in the fire. And I think that maybe contributed to what happened to him, um, in him passing away. I could be wrong. I don't want to assume that, but I know another neighbor that her home was not burned down, but the interior is ruined because of the smoke, and she's about to have a nervous breakdown. So a lot of people are very upset, and the whole neighborhood's ruined. So even if you can rebuild, what are you going to do? You're going to live in a construction zone for the next 10 years. Everybody's moving out of that area. It's done. It's done. Nobody's doing anything. You might have a few people that rebuild and live in a construction area, but in California, they just make it so difficult to build. I built my own. I know what I'm talking about because I built my own home. That's my home. I actually built that with my own hands. Of course, I had help. I have a best friend that builds homes. Now, he didn't build it for me because he has his own life, but he was more than willing to come over and yell at me and help provide me with some help. Not every day though. I had some roofers, but I had to do everything. I was kind of I had a stucco guy, a drywall guy. People helped me put in my windows, but I wore the belt with them every day. I wasn't like someone sitting in a chair. I was actually working with them, you know. So I hope that explains how's the fire rebuilding. California is very big though. It's very beautiful. So when there's a problem, you don't see it. It's people imagine this city that's going crazy. Los Angeles is huge. Los Angeles is like 45 minutes on the freeway that way from me. And a lot of people that live where I live work in Los Angeles. So for them, it affects them, but not so much. 100 plus. Nate, 35. Did you say 8 murders in Compton? Yep, only 8 murders in Compton. Yep, and only 35, oh, not 35, 8 murders in Compton and 18 murders in San Francisco compared to Tijuana, Mexico, which was 1,870 something. Yeah, America's very safe. You mean so far today? Yeah. What they do have is petty crime because they don't enforce it because you have bleeding heart liberals that think it's okay for people to steal from stores because they need it. I don't understand that. I just believe it's people that want to destroy our system completely and start. They think they need to tear down the system to rebuild some socialist dreamland. You know, it sounds good, but the problem is it's human nature. You know, human nature makes people. You motivate people with capitalism. I believe capitalism is a very good system. Your favorite movie and actress and actor? Ooh, boy, I like the Spider-Man series. I'm watching that. I'm not really a TV watcher or anything like that, but I like the Spider-Man series. And as for an actor, I don't even have one in mind that I really can think of. Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck did really good with Batman. When he fought Superman, I thought that part was awesome. I love when he said, you know, "You're not brave. Men are brave." Oh man, I love that dude. That's so true too. Um, you know, that was just awesome. Yeah, I mean, when you're indestructible, what kind of bravery do you have, right? And Batman just kicked his ass. I really like that. That was fun. Great movie. I like that. I like all the superhero movies because I think I'm a superhero. I like to, superhero myself out, wear a cape, run around the house with my Speedos on. All right. Do all enlisted Air Force military members see combat? Uh, you, hold on a second. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little text there. Do all enlisted Air Force military members see combat? No, they really don't. But you will be in areas that you might get danger pay because you might be in an area where you can get some missiles. Remember in Iraq, the Scud missiles, some different things like that. Absolutely. Free trade, man, best form of governance. Absolutely, free trade is with regulations. It's very important. So, for instance, in California, we have a lot of people that sell things unregulated all along the sidewalk, and we know who those people are. When they do that, it puts legitimate businesses out of business. And at first, you're thinking, well, their stuff's cheaper, so who cares? Well, you will care when there's no more stores. And that's what's happened in our areas. So the only place we have small, cute stores is in these very wealthy areas that people like myself live in, right? Or others. And those are heavily policed. And then you have Walmart, Target, and all those other crappy places. So basically, they're destroying what makes America America. So when you go outside these heavily policed areas, it looks like Tijuana, Mexico in many aspects. Some people like that. I don't. I like regulated stuff. I don't drink colored water on the corner. I don't like day old fruit that they skinned and removed all the nastiness from and then sell it to you. I mean, you don't want to buy that stuff, man. People get sick all the time. You really want to buy, like, if you're going to get a taco from a taco truck, they'll have their license down there. Okay. But if you see like someone in a shopping cart with a charcoal grill and they're making something, you do not want to eat that stuff. They're cooking hot dogs that have been sitting out in the hot sun for 3 days. They started selling on Friday. You just bought a hot dog on Sunday. Um, Not a good idea, guys. I don't like that. And you'll see, I love it. I love it. Come here. And everybody brings their little kids and they're all sitting there eating the hot dogs. Hey, this is what we used to do when I was young. Yeah. I like my nice stores. I like my regulated businesses. So free trade, yes, with regulations. Does the American Air Force have a designated special forces unit? I do believe they do. I'm not too familiar with the Air Force. All I know is I wouldn't join the Air Force due to the fact that it's really hard to promote. I like the US Navy. I did Navy. I got to see all the different branches and what they do. I think in the Navy, you have a choice of being safe. I wouldn't join the Marines, because you will be in combat. And I'm not talking once or twice. So unless you really want to be gun ho and start shooting people, don't be a Marine. Now they do have Marines that are airedales and they work on airplanes and they work on ships like the Navy does. But again, the Navy, it can be dangerous. Most of my friends in the Navy have seen combat. I've been in many danger areas, danger zones, but I was lucky enough to be an inspector. So they would fly me to those areas, but I would be flown out rather quickly because they don't want to kill me because there was only about 100 of me in the military at any given time. So if you make yourself extremely useful, they won't kill you, basically, you know. Really like the Navy though. Anyone that's struggling to make it, who's young, you don't know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. The US Navy is fantastic. And the reason why is because you're going to have, well, number one, you're going to have health care. And when you retire, you will have health care. And they're going to teach you how to make money. They're going to teach you how to save money. They're going to set you up with a 401k nowadays, and you're going to be able to retire. So a lot of young people are like, "What am I going to do with my life? I got to work. I got to work." Well, no. What you need to do is commit, guy. You need to pick a career and dive into it. Life is tough. Life is hard. All right. You join the military and you work your butt off. And at year 10, you got a good paycheck. You probably got a house by then, a family, a couple kids, two cars, And guess what? Life is hard. It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But that's what being an adult is. You go to work and you work. And if you work really hard and you don't get too comfortable in the job that you're in and you start maybe a second hustle and maybe get into sales. Sales is wonderful because if you're in the military, you see all this high technology. It's kind of like if you enjoyed smoking cigars. Learn how to sell these. Make money. Don't don't take a habit and make it get you broke, right? Well, that's how life is. Whatever job you do, but most people go to college and they get into this dead end job and dude, you're screwed at that point. You're completely reliant on that skill you learned in college, which is dated. And when you get fired, there's no place for you to go. You don't know how to build a house. You don't know how to inspect an aircraft. You've never traveled. You don't know what technology is what. You can't even go into sales because you sat in front of a computer your whole life. So it's really important to be very flexible in this upcoming economy. I thought the Marines was a different branch of military, separate force from the Navy. No, the Navy is under the Department of the Navy. So if you're on a Navy base and I have Marines working for me, they work for me and they answer to me. You guys want to go for a drive? I'm going to go for a drive. You guys want to see my new car? I don't know if my car will take over the cell phone. So the Marines are under the US Navy. Absolutely. And if you don't want to get shot, I went to join the Marines. I know it sounds romantic, but when you've been in the Marines for about 10 years and you're tired of getting deployed and shot at, you'll continue to get shot at if you want to make your 20 years. You see what I'm saying? I hate to say it. I've met a lot of Marines. I've worked with a lot of Marines. I've lost Marines. War messes you up. There's no two ways of saying it. Every one of those guys was going through pain that I would not wish upon myself. And if you want to go through that pain and you want to romanticize what it is, yeah, our Marines deserve a hell of a lot more money than they get. And they deserve a hell of a lot more respect than they're getting. The people that are disrespecting the Marines down in Los Angeles, they should be they should get their ass kicked. They really should. People just don't understand how delicate your freedom is. You guys really don't get it. You're just in la la land, just hanging out. Yeah. The ungratefulness of the average American is disgusting to me. Really. I've almost gotten to the point where I despise many people around me. That's why I go to Japan, because Japanese people have something called respect. And I really like that. Recon Marines, I believe, is just a separate, it's just a little thing that they do. It's a different job. It's a MOS, like an NEC from the Navy. It's your job title. Service in the military is one of the best privileges one can get to show patriotism. Absolutely. It's not easy though. And I did 20. I've seen the entire world. I've been around the world 3 times. Been to every single armed conflict that the United States Navy has been in for the last 30 years. You know what? You guys deserve a drive, right? We're going to see if this is going to work. We're going to get kind of advanced in this thing. Tell me if you can still hear me there. We are going to go for a drive together. We're going to go for a drive in my Grand Highlander. Yeah, here we go. Is there an age limit to join the Navy? I believe it's 35. I've had quite a few 30-year-olds join. The biggest adjustment they have If you can't hear me, I'm sorry. Let me get off these rocks. Okay, so here we go. Got to go over here. Grab the old dinger dinger. Grab my sunglasses just in case. Yeah, I definitely didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Are you kidding me? You got to be joking, dude. You know why I could say I didn't? You see that? You see what that is? That's an American flag. She'd never fly one of those things in front of her house. She's not proud of America. She wants to change America. That's what she wants to do. And people like that are no friend of mine. They disrespect everybody that fought for this country. All right, so we are in the Grand Highlander. Let's see if the car takes over this. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, I'm very patriotic. Ooh, it's kind of hot here. Hey, let's open up this, check out this sunroof, guys. Now, hopefully you can still hear me. If you can't, give me some, tell me, like, say you can't hear me. I'm trying to turn off this BS that sometimes this car takes over stuff. Okay, looks like it's working. Check this out. I'll ignore. Ooh, great. I'm on with you guys. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Panoramic sunroof. Boom. I really like this Grand Highlander. It is a really nice car. I actually really like it. It's a beauty. All right. Wish I could prop this thing up. This is like a new thing for me. All right, I'm gonna take off my glasses. So I can't really, I gotta drive, guys. So you guys gotta just listen for a little bit. Oh, but check this out. Look at that. Yeah, it's got a camera that actually sees underneath your vehicle. How cool is that? Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so here we go. Hello from Montana. Outstanding. Can you hear me, or hopefully I'm not rubbing against my microphone? That would aggravate me if I was listening to some jerkwad on the internet. What's your opinion on Ford vehicles like the F-150? Oh, great question. Okay, so I went with Toyota because I wanted reliability, and I was not happy with my Honda Pilot. My Honda Pilot had a lot of problems, but I do have a Ford. I have a Ford Focus ST. Engine and transmission was made in Germany, though. It's pushing 110,000 miles, and it drives better than the day I bought it. And I'm not lying. It gets 21 miles to the gallon, and I can screw around with the best of them. That thing is so raw and connected to the floor. I mean, when you gun it, you can literally feel the tires ripping the pavement to pieces. It's an absolute blast of a car. So, oh, I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you. That does help out. It gives me some confidence in my speaking ability, so I'm not talking to myself. But yeah, the Ford makes some good cars, but unfortunately, you know, the F-150 is really good. Their Focuses are really good, but they just lack the reliability. And when something goes wrong, their customer support is really terrible, kind of like Kia. There's a lot of companies where they'll sell you a car, but once you get that car, you're pretty much, if there's a problem, you're kind of stuck with it. Toyota is known for their reliability. So when they have an issue, they shit a brick. I'm going to be honest. Latest Tundra, and they're replacing all the engines. They're not replacing the engines at the factory, okay? Because they know that that's not as good as getting it, done at Toyota. But they're actually going to do it at Toyota, okay? So it's going to go back to the factory and get it done. That is outstanding. So, because most recalls are done by some technician that doesn't really give a rat's ass, and but only Toyota would do that. Just the way they took care of this huge issue that they had, that sold me right there. I was like, I'm gonna get the car. So this one has this is a 4-cylinder turbo in this gigantic car. This is huge. It's got like 7 or 8 passengers. It's beautiful. What about the German vehicles, the BMW, Mercedes, VW, and Audi? Absolutely not. Wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. With the tariffs also, all their parts and replacement parts are going to be very expensive. Anybody that buys a money pit like that, it's just a car, guy. Everybody, like Americans, fall in love with these cars. I got to get a car. I got to get a car. I didn't buy my first brand new car until I was well into my 30s. Needs from wants. Now, could I have bought a brand new car like all my friends did? Sure. But all my friends are still working. Dude, I love my freedom, man. I don't check into a job. I don't have to check into a job. As long as I live simply. As long as I don't live like an asshole, basically. Do you understand? If I'm happy with whatever I got. I love my little 10-year-old Focus ST. It's got chipped paint. I don't care. It's mine. I own it. Do you understand? I'm not going to go out and sell it because I'm bored with it and then go out and buy a $50,000 or a $60,000 car. Are you effing kidding me? And other people give it no thought. They're like, oh, no, you don't understand. I do understand. Trust me, we all want to drive a BMW. We all do, okay? But look, the trip to pick up my kid is 5 minutes. And then I would park after 5 minutes driving to my kid and coming back home. And even if it was an hour to and from work, man, you park that car and guess what? When you go to work, about 40% of everything you do is going to be paying off that car. So when you're broke or you're struggling when you're in your 60s or whatever you're doing, you got no one else to blame but yourself. You got to buy that. You got to drive the fancy car. What other American automobile companies do you see it and buy at first time owner? I'm sorry, my eyes are kind of bad, so I apologize. I would never buy a Chevy. I got a Chevy in front of me. It's such a hunk of shit. Excuse my language, but that's how we roll on these live videos sometimes. Sorry. I just want to be very clear. I would never buy a Chevy. They've got some great, you test drive them, you sit in them, you're like, man, this is really nice. It's got more technology than the Toyota. Guys, don't do it. Don't do it.